Yo, what's up? So, I'm about to jump in on the analysis on gold for the week. So, this is what happened last week. In the past 3 weeks, we've seen gold drop from 1946 all the way to 1948. So, on Friday, we saw this move. So, price went up and then hit the middle line Bollinger Band on the H4, and then price dropped all the way from that point and dropped all the way down to the middle line Bollinger Band. So that was for September, and now we are currently in a new month, which is the month of October. So how does the monthly chart looks like? What does the monthly chart looks like? Let's go on the monthly chart. So this is the monthly chart. This is what it looks like. So on the monthly chart, we can see that price just dropped from the upper line Bollinger Band to the middle line Bollinger Band. So put simple, if you look closely on this place, price was basically dropping from 1989 to 1900. So price was moving from this spot to this spot. So price was moving from let's call this from this place to this place. So price was moving between 1989 to 1919. So price was moving in this range, and then finally for the month of September, we saw price break this support, and now we've dumped to the middle line Bollinger Band on the monthly. So what could we be expecting for the month of October? So if you go back in history and see what the price does whenever that happens, for example, in this situation, price did close at 1838. So literally after price closed on this zone here, after price dropped to this place, after price dropped to 1848, which is a little bit above where we closed at. But as at that time, it was very close to the middle line Bollinger Band. After price dropped there, the next thing we saw was if you would go on the daily, you would see that there was probably some consolidation, and then price dropped more and broke the middle line Bollinger Band. So let's go on the daily. Let's go on the daily and see what we could be expecting for the coming week. This is the daily chart. So we've had this drop to the downside, and if you look at this chart, I'm moving back so you can see it properly. If you look at this chart, we were moving on this range. Whenever price was coming here, it was going back up. So literally, let's call it, I think it was 1900. Yes, 1900 was holding. It was a very strong support. It was holding every time the market was coming down. It was going back up, coming down and going back up. And then finally, we just broke it. We just broke 1900, and price just dropped from 1878 solidly to 1848. So what could you be expecting? What could you be expecting? Let's pull back to the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, let's see what we could be expecting. So what could we be expecting? So price has broke the bottom line Bollinger Band. So currently price is at 1848. So what we could be expecting for this week? This is a solid push to the downside. It clearly violates all of the support. So what we could be expecting is, what I would be expecting, for example, personally, what I would be expecting is to wait for market open. We could see a pullback. We could see a pullback to the upside. Let's go on the H4 and see what could potentially happen. So let's go on the H4. Okay, here we go. So okay, so what would happen is, since we're in the downtrend, clearly this is a downtrend, we're in the downtrend. So what we could see tomorrow, what I would be expecting, what could potentially happen is, we could see price move back up. Like we could see a bullish move back to around 1865, 66, 67, which is we could see price move back to this range. We could see retracement up to 1870, and then from there I would be looking for a sell entry to sell that thing down. That is one thing that you can be expecting in the market, a pullback to 1870. Yes, to 1870, and then we could get in a sell. Or something else that could happen is market could just open and continue dropping. Market could just open and continue dropping. But personally, whichever way I go with the trend, we can either see a pullback to 1870, and then boom, it drop back to the downside. So whichever thing the market does, always go with the trend. The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend. So always go with the trend. So what you want to do is wait for price to pull back at least to 1865, or most likely 1870. When price pulls back to that zone, this is the daily. Let's go on the H4. So what you want to do is wait for price to pull back. Wait for price to pull back to the middle line Bollinger Band. I don't know if you use that, but it's one of my favorite indicator. So what you want to do is wait for price to pull back to 1870 area, and then you short that in. Why? Because we're in a downtrend. So every time we're on a downtrend in the market, I don't know if you do that too, but every time we're on a downtrend, if market pulls back, for example, if you look at this chart, every time the market was pulling back up and dropping back down, pulling back up and dropping back down. If you look at these candles, and if you've been in the chart, if you've been on the gold chart. So what I would be expecting too, for example, this was a block. So 1863 was a support that was holding gold on Friday. So that support had gold, and gold bounced from 1863 zone and bounced up to 1874 and then dropped down. So the first place I will be looking for to act as a resistance would be 1863. But if it breaks, 1870. And if it goes there and I see some rejection, I see that the bullish move is losing our momentum, I'm going to shut that in. I'm going to sell from this place all the way back down. And clearly the market is going to make a new low. It's because we're in a downtrend. If that doesn't happen, the market can just open with a sell and continue dropping. But whichever ways, we'll go with the trend. But if it pulls back up, it's going to be a killer entry, because it's going to pull back up. And I'm going to take that in. Probably going to get in around, for example, 1863. With my stop loss around 1875, somewhere around there, and that thing is going to drop back down. But that is my outlook on gold for the coming week. So yeah, just my personal outlook. This is not a financial advice. So yeah, just sharing what I see on the chat. So I hope you guys had a nice weekend, and I hope you kill it this week. Peace out, guys.